All right, welcome to the SnydeReport podcast. I am your host, Gary Snyder. Before we get to my guest, which is pretty apparent because he is right next to me right now and you can see his smiling face, but we do have business to take care of. First of all, we need to thank our sponsors. First of all, Robin Winston, been on board with the newsletter and the podcast, both of them from the start. So thank you for your support, Robin. Next, we have former Congresswoman Jill Long Thompson. Her newest book, Across the Aisle, Why Bipartisanship Works for America, is out. Get that anywhere you buy your books, unless, of course, it's one of those seedy places or seedy, not seedy, seedy places. You know what I'm talking about, all right?
I do.
We need to thank Congressman Andre Carson. Great, been on board with the newsletter from day one. Now a great sponsor of our podcast, and our newest sponsor, State Senator Greg Taylor. So thank you, Senator Taylor. Quite a lineup, huh, Sean?
Yeah, you got some great folks backing you, man. And I know all those people. They're awesome.
We have some that don't want their name on the air because maybe I embarrass them. But anyway, that's where we're at with the sponsors. My guest tonight is Sean Johnson, probably best known for being my campaign manager when I ran for Congress. Do you still get recognized for that? Taunted?
I
Made
do.
fun of?
I still get some emails. Some folks from the other side are still upset about it, but that just lets me know I did something right. We did something right.
Still that one night, Gary, what in the hell are you doing? You're drunk at a concert. Apparently I tweeted something wrong and people were calling you to calm me down.
Well, we live and we learn, and there was some important things, some points that you were hitting that people just didn't want to hear.
Now, I will tell you this, and I think I mentioned this to you off air. I had a certain U.S. Senator, Jim Banks, tweet at me the other day. He didn't like one of my guests on my shows or was making fun of one of my guests because he came on my show. And, it's kind of odd because Jim has been on my show probably more than anyone. So if this person has hit rock bottom, Jim, what's that make it for you? Just wondering. All right. But hey, we didn't get on here to talk about Jim Banks yet. But Sean, you are running to be a DNC Rep chair. What's it called?
A DNC Rep.
Okay. So I guess my question is, because while I am ass deep in Democrat politics, I'm not very familiar with, the structure of the party. So what exactly is the role and responsibilities of a DNC Rep?
So first and foremost, the DNC rep advocates on behalf of the state party at the national level. We focus on fundraising. We focus on helping candidates up and down the ballot in Indiana. And then another important part is we help with the selection process for our presidential nomination, and ultimately helping with our brand.
So if you're chosen, elected, is it chosen or elected?
Elected.
Okay.
It's an official vote.
Okay. So if you are voted into this rep spot, you will get a say on, let's say, whether Andy Beshear is our nominee in 4 years.
Correct.
And I'm just throwing that name out there.
Well, we like Andy Beshear, though.
All right. So you've been, like I said, ass deep in politics, at least since I've known you.
Yeah.
So why in the world would you want to get even ass deeper in politics and take this role?
Well, because I want to see Indiana move forward. I want to see our platform.
Yeah, because we are stuck in 1950 right now.
It's pretty bad. I want to see a platform that reflects who we are as Hoosiers. I want to see great candidates get more support, and I like to see better fundraising efforts and more money coming into the Indiana Democratic Party to be able to help our candidates down the line, especially statewide.
Yeah, because our lieutenant governor wants to count you as 3/5 of a person.
Yeah, I'm still 3/5 a man according to Lieutenant Governor Michael Beckwith, which is
Beckwith.
Beckwith, insane. But hopefully I can get the voters to see why it's time to move forward in a different way, and let's help our branding get back to what it used to be.
Well, let me ask you this because I'm guessing you're not the only person running for this. I would imagine that it's a pretty popular role to play within the party. So, what do you bring to role?
One, I definitely bring the ability to fundraise. I bring the energy. That's something
Yeah.
that we've been missing for a long time. Is a different a different form of energy. Also,
You're under 80. That probably helps.
it does a little bit, and then it's no, I'm not, no shade to anyone, but we have to change the way people think about democratic politics here in Indiana. And so, looking at the things that have gone down election after election after election, with us just getting spanked and smoked up and down the ballot, it's time that we allow new blood to come in and say, hey, I care about us as well. I care about all of our constituency caucuses. I care about all of our congressional districts. And ultimately, I just care about Indiana Hoosiers, period. I care about the working families. And so when I look at how we're moving as a party, I want to be able to be a part of that and push our Indiana brand forward on a national level.
You had mentioned branding as a party
Uh-huh.
because and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but Indiana is seen right now, at least by most Hoosiers, as we get stereotyped in with the left or west, the left or east, left or right coast party, Democrat Party. And is that something you want to change to give Indiana Democrats their own brand? That, hey, maybe we're not like Massachusetts Democrats or not like California Democrats here in the Midwest.
Well, yeah, when people look at us, they're not afraid of us. They don't think that we have the ability to get anything done, which is why we haven't gotten any major investments into our party. And I think that's just because we're sending the wrong folks to represent us. We can't keep sending the same old bland stuff and thinking that people are going to support us. No, we have to give people a reason to invest in who we are as Indiana Democrats. And we've been dropping the ball on that for years. And it's just time to send some new blood, get some new energy, get someone who's not afraid to ask the tough questions and say, hey, we're Indiana Hoosiers. We're here. We're not going anywhere. We believe in our democratic values. We're not afraid of what these Republicans are doing. But at the same time, we have to put out a product that people are worth, or people that people want to invest in.
Uh-huh.
And we
Okay.
just have not done that.
So you said this is not a role that is chosen by someone; it's voted on.
It's
So do
voted
I
on.
get to go to the polls or something this weekend, or how does this work out?
No, I look. I wish you would. I'd be like, yo. At least I know I got one vote there. But this is voted on by the
At least you better have one, huh?
at least like come on. So this is a role that is voted on by for starters our congressional district chairs 1 through 9
All right.
and their vices, the constituency caucuses, so IYD, IDAC, the Latina caucus, the Labor caucus, the Women's caucus, and as well as certain deputy chairs as well.
Okay.
And so it's a large voting block, but it's something that has to be earned. It's not given, or at least it should be. But once they make that decision, for myself, we immediately hit the ground running and start working.
So does the whole state get a vote on? I would imagine this DNC rep, is that a statewide position or is it done by districts? How is it done?
So you mean as far as the votes?
Well, the votes and the rep position. Your rep. You're a DNC rep. Do you represent the whole state or do you represent
Yep.
part of the state?
So I represent the state at the national level with the national DNC. I am the spokesperson for Indiana and Indiana politics. So
Okay.
when they are talking about how they're going to spread the money around
Hmm.
amongst the 50 states, I would be one of those ones that say, "Hey, we need a piece of the pie as well. You know, we can make changes, but unfortunately, our messaging is being drowned by the Republican Party because they have a war chest over there that allows them to control the messaging. And so we need to fix that. You have to
Okay.
send new blood out here. We have to market ourselves in a manner in which people are willing to invest their dollars in.
So I guess that leads to my last question um, on this. And I'm trying to think this through a little bit. Why do you think that you are the best fit for this position?
I'm the best fit. One,
And I'm going to ask you to give examples of when you showed leadership. And no, I'm just joking.
how about I say, look, I'm down. Let's do it. But I'm the best fit for this role. One, I'm confident in my abilities and encouraged by my circumstances. I have the knowledge, the overall campaign knowledge that it takes to do this role. I have the fundraising knowledge, and I have the ability to be confident in saying, hey, would you mind writing us $1,000 check so we can start winning some races here in the great state of Indiana? You know, I'm 32 years young. I'm not afraid of anything or anybody. I'm confident, again, and the knowledge is there. I've proven that being your campaign manager for our 4th Congressional District, my own race, helping out, Melissa Fisher over in
Hmm.
Allen County, and so many other candidates around the state. From the 9th district on down to the 1st district, as well as working with the rest of the constituency caucuses. They all have a voice. They all have their own things that they're individually working on as Democrats. And it's just simply time to have a person to frame that into proper messaging that will allow, again, more dollars and more people coming to and investing in the state of Indiana.
Is who held this position before? Do you know offhand?
Yes, Madam Chair Karen Talion.
Oh, I laugh because that is a great thing. Karen Talion, I think is going to be the chair that we need here in Indiana. She's done a great job of a state senator when she was there, so I'm actually excited. Unlike some of these whiny asses that lost, you know, Karen will do the job.
Yeah, and ultimately, she left a good legacy with what she was able to get done in that seat.
Hmm.
And so, who better to come after our now party chair than the young, fierce guy who's not afraid to say anything to anybody, who's not afraid to ask the tough questions, and who's not afraid to go to bat and have the backs of our constituency caucuses as well as our district chairs and their vices. It takes a lot to do this work, but at the end of the day, you have to be willing, you have to be trustworthy, you have to have a proven track record of work within our party. And I do. I have all of that. I check all the boxes when it comes to what a DNC rep should be. And think about it like this: the state of Indiana sending a 32-year-old African American male to represent them at the national level. I mean, that is awesome, and it's history in itself. And I think that right there would allow our branding to really take shape at the national level. I've spent a lot of time at the national level being the chief of staff of the Black Caucus for the Young Democrats of America. I've been in these rooms. I've talked to Congressman Maxwell Frost. I've talked to Justin J. Pearson from Tennessee. I've talked to Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. When you talk to the likes of them, they are fierce. And they're like, hey, you're either going to do it or you're not. And if you're not going to do it, get out the way. It's time out for the gatekeeping. It's time out for allowing folks who really don't care about all of us as a whole. It's time out for that stuff. And now we have an opportunity to send an amazing, young, fierce, steadfast, handsome, young guy to represent our party.
That was the only bad thing having you as my campaign manager. It was usually the least best looking out of the two. So
Well, you look, you know, it's not the suit.
they
It's the
all running
person
up
in
to
the suit.
Sean going, "Hey, Sean." And I'm like, "What the hell am I?"
Yeah, look, he's the candidate here, but you know, and you know, I get compliments and stuff all the time from my attire. I honestly, I just like what I like. You know, that's it. And I encourage, you know, other young people, you know, hey, put on a jacket and shirt and a tie. No, I don't have on a tie right now. It's a bit hot. I need to come out of something, but you know, those are things that encourage other people to get engaged with our party. We have to be unorthodox in our messaging and how we're bringing people in our party and keeping people in our party. That's been the biggest thing is, you know, people, they come and they go. Our turnover ratio in our party is not good. And I think that is just a lot of people are turned off by what we continue to do. And I know, you know, based on what Madam Chair has said, you know, she's looking for us to step up to the plate.
Mhm.
You know, we can't demand and ask for things when we're not doing the work. I have worked so hard to uplift the Indiana Democratic Party's brand by being there, being in the rooms. Not only that, showing up to our rural areas. All right.
Hey,
It's,
you showed up in Huntington.
oh yeah,
And anyone that knows Huntington, a black kid from Fort Wayne, it could be kind of scary.
it can. But you know, if you don't try, nothing will get done. And at the end of the day, you know, and I want to give a shout out to Christine Baum over there. She helped me out a lot over there. She taught me things to watch out for, to look out for, you know, because she knew that I'm gonna come back no matter what. I'm coming, you know. So I want everybody to know that I am not afraid to represent you, from the Indiana Young Democrats to the Latino caucus to our Labor caucus to our Women's caucus, who had to fight to become a caucus. I will be here for you, not just in just a title, but showing up for you, talking to you, taking the things that you're saying and taking it to the national level and being honest. You know, it takes the right people to get the money that we need to succeed. And we have seen time and time again that the war chest on the other side is double and triple of what we have. And in order to do something, if you want something different, you got to do something different.
Anything else you want to cover before we let you run here tonight?
Oh, I asked for all our caucuses and all our leaders in the Democratic Party to consider voting for me, and just give me opportunity to show you what I can do. I've proven myself in Indiana Young Democrats. I've proven myself as a two-time campaign manager at the federal level. I've proven myself every step of the way. And I'm not going to be the guy that goes into the DNC and says, well, why are you, you know, no, I'm going to ask why. Why can't we get dollars? Why can't we get a fair shake at what's going on? And ultimately, I plan to represent us in the right way in selecting our next presidential candidate and helping coordinate that with what we have going on here.
Well, I can tell you this may come as no surprise, but you have my full backing. And I know that Pepper's over there screaming at me too to say he has my support. So when you win this, when is the vote on this?
This will be the SEC meeting is May 10th, I believe.
Okay.
So we're coming up.
Okay.
And
So
when I win this, the work doesn't start
the
2
first thing
weeks
you
from
got
now.
to do is take me to Dairy Queen
See,
to
we got to
celebrate.
keep you away from the ice cream, man. You're not about to get me cussed out by Pepper. No, sir.
All right. Before we go here, we need to thank our sponsors again. Robin Winston, he's been here from the start. Former Congresswoman Jill Long Thompson, her newest book, Across the Aisle, Why Bipartisanship Works for America. Make sure you pick that up wherever you buy your books. Congressman Andre Carson, running for reelection to make sure we keep him in office. And we can't forget about our newest sponsor, State Senator Greg Taylor. So before we go, there's a button down here somewhere. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get updated every time we put up a new podcast. We got some exciting guests coming up for you. Also, like and comment on this. Tell us what you think. Even if you don't like Sean, go ahead and comment. We're not going to, we'll make fun of you, but we won't delete your comment. So do all that. I'm Gary Snyder. He is not. He is Sean Johnson, your next DNC rep, and we are out.